When beauty becomes a weapon, it can change everything. What if your own sister was the one standing in your way? How far would you go to steal what isn't yours and take the life you always wanted? In the bustling city located deep in the heart of Africa, nestled in wealth, elegance, beauty, and privilege, a powerful couple, Chief and Madame Femi, are blessed with two beautiful daughters, twins, welcoming them into the world in style. They knew the future would be as bright as their fortune. Little did they know, the bond between the twins would be tested by forces beyond the physical. But from birth, it is clear that the two girls, though identical in genes, will walk very different paths. Two beautiful daughters are legacy. They will both be stars. But my dear, don't you think Clara looks a bit more like you? She'll surely turn heads. Chief Femi, smiling, looking at them proudly. My beautiful girls, Mara and Clara, they will carry grace and charm. Look at them, husband. They will be loved and cherished. Madame Femi, teary-eyed, cuddling the twins, smiling endlessly. Years passed. While both girls were equally adored by their parents, fate would cast them in contrasting lights. The twins, now in their teens, play on the floor. One, Clara, radiates beauty and grace as she arranges flowers. The other, for her spirit, Mara, less striking in appearance, sits with a sneer, tossing papers around carelessly. Mara, can you be gentle like your sister? You are bothering the peace in here. Madame Femi speaks to Mara, irritated. Why? She's perfect, isn't she? Everyone already loves her. On the other hand, it is. Oh, Mara this. Oh, Mara that. Just let me be already. Mara responds, rolling her eyes in frustration. It's not about being perfect. You just have to try to be kind. Clara softly speaks. The house helper Marka walks into the room, announces, please come to the table, the food is served. Chief Femi, Madame Femi and their twin daughters slowly make their way to their fancy dining room. While at the table, Clara gracefully eats her food, observing proper table manners and ladylike behavior, whereas her twin Mara disrupts the peace of the meal. Her parents look at her worriedly, wondering where they may have gone wrong. They hope their dear Mara will change, be more like Clara. Later that day, the two sisters sit in their lavish backyard. While Clara receives compliments from neighbors and admirers, Mara holds a book, lost in what seems to be a very interesting conversation with their gardener. Ah, Clara, you'll break many hearts. Your beauty is indeed something else. Their neighbors say in admiration, Mr. Michael, you work so hard. This is for you. I believe you will find it most relaxing on your time off. Mara says excitedly to the gardener, handing over a book. Mara glances at Clara, her sister surrounded by admirers. She lowers her gaze, feeling overshadowed. The difference between the twins grew more apparent over time. Clara was the epitome of stunning beauty, manners, and captured attention effortlessly, admired by everyone, especially the boys at school. Mara, on the other hand, though not as captivating physically, was mean-spirited and often overshadowed by her sister's charm, but beloved for her brilliance and confidence. Clara walks gracefully across the schoolyard, a group of boys smiling as they watch her pass. Mara, walking behind her, glares at them. One of the boys, Ben, approaches them. Hey, Clara, would you like to study together later? Ben to Clara, smiling nervously. Clara smiles back politely. I'll think about it. Ben. Well, see you later. Ben, oblivious to Akani's presence. Of course. Kunal wants her. They all do. Mara, sarcastically mumbling under her breath. Later that afternoon, the twins are in a cafeteria. Clara is surrounded by boys, while Mara sits alone with her books. Clara's beauty had become the talk of the school. Boys flocked to her, leaving Mara in her shadow. But in Mara's heart, there was someone, Chaik, the boy who seemed to see more than what was on the surface. He is a friend to all, not selective with whom he interacts with. Clara is laughing with her friends, as Chaik occasionally glances at Mara from across the room without her noticing. Chaik approaches Mara. He nervously smiles kindly. Hey, Mara, I was wondering if you'd like to go out together sometime. Maybe share a few tricks from last week's quiz. Oh, sure, I'd love that. Mara nervously responds with a rare but genuine pretty smile on her face. Cheeky smiles. But as he attempts to sit down with Mara, one of Clara's friends interrupts and pulls him away, leaving Mara sighing with a frown on her face. They only see her face, not who she is. If only they knew. There's more to me than they see. Mara, angry, storms off talking to herself, watching her sister. The jealousy inside Mara began to fester. She envied the attention her sister received and grew resentful that no one seemed to care for her. Or so she thought. Until one day, she had an idea that would change everything. Back home in the Femes mansion, Clara stands by the door of Clara's room. She watches as Clara brushing her hair in front of the mirror. Mara, hesitant, walks in and begins to speak. Clara, I know this may sound strange, but I've always wondered how it would feel to have your beauty just for one night. I want people to see me like everyone sees you. My beauty? Hey, Mara, if only it was something you could borrow. Clara, raising an eyebrow, jokingly responds. Mara returns to her room, desperation growing within her. She longed to be noticed, not just for her personality, but as someone worthy of admiration. Mara paces her room, consumed with jealousy. She stops in front of her mirror, looking at her reflection, her face hard with determination. That night, she made a fateful decision. Her sister Clara knocks on the door and enters, looking concerned. Are you okay, Mara? Clara softly asks with concern in her voice. Mara suddenly smiles mischievously. Actually, I was thinking, there's this boy, Chaik. He likes you, Clara, but I really want to go on a date with him. But Mara, why would you? Clara, confused, tries to speak but is cut off. Let's swap. I'll take your head for the night, go on the date, and return it afterward. It's just one night, Mara. Speaks fast, cutting her sister off. Swap heads. Mara, that's impossible. Clara responds in a shocked tone. Mara, darkly with a smirk, speaks. Not impossible if you really trust me, dear sister. After a moment, Clara sighs, reluctantly agreeing, nodding her head. Fine, but you must promise to return it, Clara says in an unconvinced tone. Blinded by her love for her sister, Clara agrees, never imagining the consequences that would follow. Mara and Clara sit across from each other, and suddenly, a strange, mysterious, mystical glow fills the room. With a strange chant, their heads swap. Clara's beautiful face now resting on Mara's body. Mara, now wearing her sister's head, smiles wickedly. Perfect. Chaik will never know the difference. Mara, admiring herself in the mirror. Remember, just for tonight. Clara nervously says to her sister, Come on, sister. Don't worry. All shall be well. You know I would do the same for you in a heartbeat. Mara says mischievously to her sister. Mara had borrowed Clara's beauty, literally. But with it came consequences no one could have foreseen. And so, the sisters parted for the night, one with excitement, the other with growing fear. In the restaurant, Mara, now wearing Clara's head, walks confidently into the restaurant to meet Chaik. She sits across from Chaik at a lavish restaurant. Chaik gazes lovingly at her in confusion, but decides to play along with the deception. You look even more beautiful in person outside school. Chaik smilingly speaks as he looks at Mara, who now has Clara's face. Chaik was thinking to himself, why is Clara here? I didn't invite her. I remember asking Mara out instead. Thank you, Chaik. Mara, grinning, trying to act sweet like her sister, Chaik politely asks, attempting to find out what was going on. So, Clara, how is your sister Mara? Hope she is not unwell? Mara responds, speaking softly, trying to mimic her sister Clara's way of talking, but fails miserably. No, nothing like that. She's at home reading. You know, she's such a bookworm, always with her little books. Chika knew something was off from the moment he saw Clara instead of Mara. Come on now, Chike. Let's not talk about Mara. She's not here. Let's talk about us. Mara nervously tries to change the topic. As the night progresses, Mara's true nature begins to slip through. She interrupts him rudely with her spirited character, laughs at inappropriate moments, and speaks ill of others, especially herself. Chicky's smile begins to fade. I thought you were different, Clara. You seemed kinder before. Please don't speak ill of Mara. She's your sister. Chike says, frowning. Does it really matter? I'm still beautiful, aren't I? Mara responds, irritated. Chike began to see that beauty was more than just a face. It was the heart and soul of a person. However, what Mara failed to realize is the whole evening, Chike only spoke and asked about her, Mara, and not Clara's beauty. All she had to be was herself. Back at the Chief Femi mansion. Please, Mara, you promised. Give it back. Clara speaks, pleading. Why would I? Everyone finally loves me now. I'm you now. Mara laughs cruelly as she responds. But you're not me. You'll never be me. Clara, teary-eyed, continues to speak. Mara refused to return the head, her heart hardened by jealousy and selfishness. At the high school, Clara was now wearing her sister's head. She got a bitter taste of the life that is Mara's every day, being left of fun activities, conversations, and having no real friends, but only seeing everyone prefer her face over true, meaningful connections. Clara thought to herself, I really should have been a better sister. Maybe Mara would not be the person she is now. She finally understood where her sister's frustration and anger came from. Chike approaches Clara, who is now wearing Mara's head, having pieced together the truth. He stands in front of her, smiling softly. I know what you did for your sister. Chike says sympathetically, You know? Clara responds surprised. Chike, nodding, yes, and I have a confession to make. I went on that date expecting to see the face you are now wearing, but I saw another. Clara, I know you. You are kind and caring. The person I met portrayed none of those virtues. She was mean and tough, wearing your face, but deep down I see Akane for who she really is. She only does these selfish things out of unwarranted jealousy and frustration. It doesn't matter what head she wears. It's her that I like, her intellect, and her spirited character draw me to her. That's what makes her truly beautiful. I wish she knew that. Sadly, maybe she never will. Chick looks sad at the thought of Mara not realizing how truly beautiful she is. He smiles empathetically to Clara and walks away. Mara was not so far behind. She heard all that Chicky said, shocked that someone appreciated her for who she is. She broke down in tears. Beauty isn't everything, she said, even more tears running down her face. What she always wanted, she already had. However, jealousy blinded her to it all. He secretly had a crush on Mara. If only Mara saw herself in Chicky's eyes, she wouldn't have wasted time pulling such strings to be with a person who already liked her for who she is. Mara, heartbroken by Cheek's words, finally agrees to give back the head, realizing that beauty without kindness is hollow. The twins embrace, the mystical glow returning as they swap heads back to their rightful bodies. Mara tearfully says, I'm sorry. I was wrong. It's okay. We'll always be sisters. Clara responds, hugging her tight. In the end, it was the heart that won, not the face. The moral of the tale of the Femi's twins teaches us that beauty is not in the face, but in the soul. Jealousy and envy can only distort what is truly valuable, the kindness and goodness that make us who we are. Thanks for watching. If you found today's story about this sibling rivalry captivating, make sure to hit like button and subscribe for more unique stories. Turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when a new story drops. Drop a comment below about your favorite moment.